Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's all fantastic. It's Friday here. I spent most of the day in the dark without electricity or internet and had to cook lunch with a camp stove. But it's back on now, of course. But by the time I'm quitting work, it comes back. So that's good because I have the kids this weekend. And I don't think that no internet would fly with them. So, yeah. But anyway, it's been a good week, and I asked, so at the beginning of the week we talked about 5 years. This has been 5 years we've been doing this show now, and I asked for if anybody had any questions. And one of our friends, Chris, actually submitted some questions, so thank you, Chris, for watching and being a good friend all these years. I used to do this all the time. I used to do question and answer. I tried to do it every week, but for the most part, I wouldn't get enough questions. Like, I don't live an interesting enough life. It's not like people are seeking me for advice. So, I used to think that's what I could do. I used to think that this could be some sort of advice type show where I could give middle-aged man advice, but I realized that I'm not important enough for that, and I'm not only outwardly not important, I'm not self-important enough. Like, I don't want to give advice, right? I mean, I do. I enjoy giving advice to friends and family. I don't want to give advice to strangers. I don't want to be that person. But anyway, so Chris asked a couple of questions, and the first one was, he said, have you considered ever having interviews with friends or people you admire that share your interests? All the night shows have made remote interviews on Vogue. You should try it. I have, and I did. I used to do it. I used to do interviews with people in the gaming community. I used to do interviews with people in the woodworking community. Years and years ago, I tried that. And I realized years ago that if I really wanted to make this particular show a success, or at least bring new audience, then having interviews would be a good way of doing that. I think that the reason, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, which are extremely popular right now, there's usually two hosts, right? And then they'll do interviews. Or there's one host and an interviewee. And that's the only format. There's very few podcasts that are just one guy talking. And if they are just one guy talking, they're typically a narrative podcast where they have written a script and have a point to the whole thing. Whereas this kind of casual, sort of off-the-cuff type conversation that I like to have, it doesn't work so well when you're by yourself staring into a camera. So years ago, I tried it. I tried to have some people, but again, doing it daily means it's very difficult to work around those types of things, and then interjecting them into the middle of shows would be strange. So I'd have to figure out a way to maybe make that its own thing, or try to, just hold little 10-minute conversation with the people, because I don't want to do the only reason this show has made it 5 years is because I don't edit, because I don't my shooting process is 10 minutes here. My quote editing process is probably about 5 minutes, and then it's just waiting for the video to render and waiting for the video to upload. I have my editing process down to like muscle memory, just click, move, drag, cut, done. If I have to start scrubbing tape and cutting, and piecing together a story, I don't have time for that every day. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. If you look back at the Brandon Sanderson video this week, the thumbnail, thumbnails are super important on YouTube right now. That thumbnail took me longer, like 2 times as long as the entire process of shooting, editing, uploading the show. It took me forever to make that stupid thumbnail. But that's what you have to do to be successful. If you want to be successful on this platform, you have to put in that kind of effort. And I can, just not daily. I can't. There's no way. I can't fit this into my life like that. And I think it would take a lot of the genuineness of myself out of it. If I really start doing a whole lot of that sort of talk show interviewee type stuff, I think I would be much less genuine on that. Maybe. But all that being said, I am very much okay with the idea of trying to find some people to occasionally talk to. I might really try looking into that some. What are the biggest differences you notice in your show from then to now? Obviously, when we watched the first episode, the energy that I had for the show then was ridiculous. I was way over the top. I was trying to be a personality. I wasn't letting myself come through as much as I was letting this I don't know, not a demon, but this other side of me come out. If you ever see me at conventions, the person that I was in the start of this show was very much the person that I am at conventions. Very high energy, very driven, and full of big ideas. And I'm not that person in most of my life. I have energy, but it's usually pent up, and I'm trying to find an outlet for it. I'm not the kind of person that really goes out of his way to be boastful or be larger than life. So I think that, if anything, what I have learned over the last 5 years is how to be natural on camera, which is something that's not easy to do. It's something that is very, actors go to school for years to try to figure it out, because there's something about knowing that whatever it is you're doing in the moment is going to be captured forever and people are going to see it, makes your approach to that thing very, very differently. So I think that if you look back then, you can see how stiff and how regimented I was trying to make myself feel comfortable, to where now I do this every day, and I've said before that I think that my greatest gift from doing the show is just my speaking ability. I'm much, much better at it. I could stand in front of a crowd and just talk for hours and it wouldn't bother me at all. I don't think that's true 5 years ago. If budget and time were no object, what do you think this show would look like? If budget and time were no object, I don't know that this particular show would change, truthfully. If I had the funds to quit my job and focus on making video, and I don't think it would be this. I don't think that the vision that I had then of the internet talk show that I envisioned at that point in time, that I envisioned it being one-man show, right? I don't think that's what I would even attempt. I think that if time and budget were nothing, were not a concern, I think I would be making furniture and filming that. I think that would be my real focus. The problem that I have right now with projects is I'm the kind of person that when I want to do something, I want to do it, start to finish, done. I don't want to do 15 minutes, come back later, do 15 minutes. And currently, the way my life is, I can't really do that. I have to be able to put a half hour in here, an hour in there. Maybe on a good day, I get to put in a couple hours at one go. But I don't work very well that way. I work much better when I see I need to accomplish this and I get that done, and then I'm done. And then I can go to the next thing. So if money and time weren't an issue, I think I would just be building furniture and I would be filming that. And I would be putting, I would have a camera person helping me film. I would probably have an editor helping me edit so that I could focus on making cool stuff, because that's what I would ultimately, if I could quit my job and do whatever, that's probably what I would attempt to do. I don't know that I could be successful at it. It takes somebody to actually purchase the things that you make in order to make it successful in that business. And I don't know that I live in an area where there's enough wealth to support the kind of prices that I would have to charge. So I don't know that this particular show would change much. I think that maybe I could have, somebody filming me throughout the day, or have walks in the wood moments or whatever, but I doubt it. I think it would just end up still being this sort of diary type thing. But I think I would have, if I did the furniture thing and I was making videos there and that channel grew, or that became something, I think that this channel would get a whole lot more interaction and it would change naturally. But I don't know how. I would have to see it happen. So that's what I have. Thanks for the questions. If anybody else has questions, feel free to always leave them in the comments. If I don't talk about it on this, I will always answer. I pretty much answer every single comment ever, even if it is just a statement. I tend to follow up with something like "thank you." That's all I have for you. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again on Monday. Today's word you should know to sound smart is execrate. It is a verb meaning to loathe, to subject to scorn and derision. We execrated William for weeks due to his casual rejection of a invitation to join Yale's Skull and Bones. Execrate. E-X-E-C-R-A-T-E. Man, these EX words are... I've heard of some of them, but execrate? That doesn't... I don't even... The root words don't make sense.